Alright guys, the Ambetter 400 Atlanta race just concluded. Christopher Bell gets the job done. This is his first win of the season. This is his first win since New Hampshire last season, back in June. And yeah, congratulations to Christopher Bell, man. He was able to get up front to get into a position, and then when it mattered most, he on the final lap he made a move to the outside and got the job done. So yeah, this race was really, really great and really great to watch. Man, handling was a really big factor, definitely. Within the first, well, all throughout the race it was handling-wise, but man, Ford was the dominating manufacturer literally, almost this entire weekend. Like, for the Cup side at least. The Fords, man, they led the majority of the laps today. Joey Logano, I think he led like over 80 laps, and he just fell back and just really couldn't even get back up to the front. Ryan Blaney, he was in contention up until Carson Hocevar got him. But by the way, great job, Blaney, on saving that car, man. Man, and then Josh Berry, I gotta give my shout out to Josh Berry, man. He unfortunately got caught up in that last lap crash on the final lap, and yeah, and then Austin Cindric. Gosh, man, it's just these Fords, man. The Ford drivers, when it comes to these super speedways, they can dominate races, but they just can't seem to finish them. That's just how I'm gonna say it. These Ford drivers, when it comes to Logano, the Penske guys, they can be up front and dominate, but when it comes to the closing laps of the race, they just can't seem to finish it out. So, man, so Christopher Bell, like I said, gets the win. Carson Hocevar, man, he was aggressive all race long, man. Carson Hocevar, from start to finish, he was aggressive. What did I say though back in my one of my videos I made, like, before the Daytona 500, it was Carson Hocevar. I predicted him to be a playoff contender this year, and his aggressiveness, I mean, showed it, but at the same time, when he races like that and gets in, makes moves that causes drivers to spin out like that, it's definitely going to lead to some tempers and maybe some retaliation, maybe. So we all know what happened with Ross Chastain and my guy back in 2022. Oh, man. So, yeah, and speaking of Denny Hamlin, man, the Toyotas, especially the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, in qualifying, were absolutely just not good at all. Like, speed-wise in qualifying was horrible. Denny qualified 37th, which was garbage. But we ended up finishing 6th. Man, we weren't even in the top 10 for the majority of this race. We were battling. We had that penalty for driving through too many pit boxes on I think it was after stage 1. We had to battle our way back up until we got a top 10 finish, man. Denny got a top 10 win, man. Top 10 finish, 6th place. I'll happily take that spot, man. And yeah, Josh Berry and Kyle Larson won the stages. Kyle Larson, he did finish 3rd, but one thing I do gotta say, man, NASCAR threw out the caution, and that completely, oh, dude, just NASCAR, I mean, it seems like, NASCAR just can't really seem to pick a side when it comes to throwing a caution out and let the races play out. Like, we saw it last week in the Daytona 500, they just let the race green. And the only car that was really could be in contention was Tyler Reddick, and he just didn't even have enough. This week, we could have had we could have had a repeat of last year. It was looking like a repeat of last year. If that caution flag did not have come out, it would have been a repeat of last year with Hocevar, Kyle Larson, and Christopher Bell. It would have been a repeat of last year, man, but unfortunately, the caution did come out, but this is just an idea for NASCAR. If the wreck happens, like, in the first half of the final lap, throw out the caution, but if the wreck happens within the final half of the last lap, let it race out. So, yeah, the Fords, like I said, they were the dominant manufacturer, but like I said, they just can't seem to finish out races. So, yeah, and there were, of course, some wrecks. There were, of course, handling was a big thing. We saw it, with it happened all throughout this race. Like you've seen it in some of the incidents. You've seen it like, man, just again, like these Atlanta races, man. These Atlanta races have been really good. Like really good with the handling portion coming into this. Like it's been really, really interesting. So yeah. Once again, congratulations to Christopher Bell. Man, I want to see where Bubba Wallace and Reddick finished, because Bubba Wallace was inside the top 10 for the majority of this race, man. He had the 2311 racing cars were the fastest Toyotas in qualifying, and I mean, they showed it. They were up front for like the majority of this race. So, I mean, they were up front, like inside the top 20, I should say. So, from what I just looked up, Reddick finished 19th and Bubba Wallace finished 9th, so 2311 Racing all finished inside the top 20. Kyle Busch was up front as well. He was not really, he was like gone, like outside the top 5 for like the majority of this race, because I don't know, his car was probably not agreeing, because I heard from the Fox booth, I think Mike Joy said that Kyle Busch was really just not in the brightest of moods with, Carson Hocevar, man. Man, Carson Hocevar just ticked off 3 guys. He ticked off Kyle Busch, ticked off Chastain with that move on overtime, and then Ryan Blaney, man. He ticked off 3 guys in this race. But, I mean, risk versus reward situation. I mean, he did finish 2nd, but golly, man, golly. If that caution wouldn't have come out, Carson Hocevar could have won this race. With that 3 wide, if NASCAR, like I said, didn't throw the caution, it would have been an exact repeat of last year. With what happened with Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch, and Ryan Blaney. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about. Any noticeable guys? Michael McDowell, shout out to him. He finished 13th. This guy had trouble earlier in the race, like a power steering issue or something like that. He was like 3 laps down, came back inside the top 15, and just wow. Resiliency for drivers, for sure, like my guy Denny Hamlin, he started 37th, had a penalty, and we had to fight through it. We finished inside the top 10. By the way, Todd Gilliland was good. He was up front, and then he had a flat tire, and I don't know where he finished, but he was definitely up front and leading laps, and then all of a sudden he just fell back, got that blown tire issue, and I don't know where he finished. So, oh, that sucks, man. So, yeah, other than that, nothing much to talk about. But I'm glad everyone was okay after any driver who was involved in any incidents today. Like, I know Elliott and Keselowski had an incident. Eric Jones had an incident after he, clipped Chris Buescher's bumper, spinning him out. That hit with Ty Gibbs, Cole Custer, Daniel Suarez, I know they've got involved, in some sort of tangle up on the front stretch. William Byron and Austin Cindric, Kyle Larson, man, it was exactly oh man, Larson, it was trying to throw a block, didn't work out, and Cindric and William Byron just got together, so. Yeah, and then of course the final lap incident, and then that was it really. I think that was it for all the cautions when involved incidents. But in conclusion, guys, the racing was really good. The race was really good. If I have to give it a score, I give it an 8. If the caution didn't have come out, I would have given this race, if we could have gotten that perfect 3 wide photo finish, it would have been borderline just as good as last year's. But, I'm going to give this race down to an 8, 9 to 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for this race. It was still a really great race, really great, phenomenal race to watch. Yeah, congratulations once again to Christopher Bell, man. I did not expect the Toyota to win today. I did not expect the Toyota to. Man, especially, man, with that penalty that took place on Chase Briscoe's team, man, that just killed that momentum for sure. And again, top 10 finish. I'll happily take that, man. Happily take that after all that Denny Hamlin has been through in this race. So, yeah, that's it. Christopher Bell gets the job done. Carson Hocevar, Kyle Larson for second and third. And anyways, Circuit of the Americas this next week. Peace out, guys.